How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames, and today we're back with re-ranking the leaders from set 1 and the starter decks for it, because we did it at the beginning when we're still getting the reveals. We did a little bit of a tier list, just basically go over individually as the leaders on their own, where I feel they would place, if they were busted, strong, decent, okay, or trash. And we kind of got a emphasis about where it was, but I'd say that I was going to revisit it after we got all the reveals, which we finally got on Friday, and basically go over now we know the archetypes, because there are some leaders like Broly who are absolutely trash, but with some of the set 1 cards is a lot better, and it would be nice to go back and visit, because some of them got better, some of them just stayed like bad or got worse, and it'd be interesting to see about where they fit now. And I've also changed up the tiers a little bit, so we've got the deck to beat. So we've got the tiers now being a deck to beat, which is probably going to be the best deck out of the lot. That you basically focus on making sure your deck can beat. If you want to go into the meta, come up with the first set. We also have tier 1, which is like the stronger ones of the decks that you're using to beat the deck that also do well against the other decks. Tier 2, which is some decks that can do well against the best deck, but then not do that great. Rogue, that's more things that are going to be that can do well, but then they could get better with future support, and this could be trash. That is basically decks that are just leaders that are not good. Not sure if we get trash for the first lot, because for the first set and star decks, Bandai actually do really well. They're all like pretty nice, pretty decent in what they want to do, and very good for starting off the beginning of the game. But before we get into the tier list and go over the leads where we're going to place them, make sure you check out the channel, and also because we're on our way to 1,000 subs, still all the way there, and you can help us out by liking the video, comment down below, and also doing the main thing of subscribing. Keep you updated with my videos as when they drop, and also getting notifications. I'll get you noticed when my videos do drop as well, so you can watch them there and then or at a later time. So without that out of the way, let's get into it and have a look at what we're going to rank the leaders. So I think for the last one, I can't remember, I should have checked before, but I think we started off with the starters first, then went into the actual main set leaders. So we'll do the same again, we'll go for the starters and then go to the main set. We'll go off by color as well, so we'll start off with the red Goku. Now, the red Goku, I can't remember, I think I put this I think I put this in the middle last time. I can't remember exactly where I put any of them. I think I know where I put some of them. But I don't know where I put this last time, but after going with set with just the starter decks, or I just saw leaders on their own, it was quite decent. With all the cards in the main set, I'm gonna put this as trash, because there are two Goku leaders. There is the set 1 one that has the old boosting all universe, like what people normally refer to as the Zoro of Fusion World, because it's the same thing as Zoro, which it gives like a blanket buff to all your cards, whereas for this one it's more focused on the Universe 7 archetype, which makes more sense. It's focused its archetype, and there are fair few good Universe 7 cards, and it makes it more like a stronger deck. Like when your cards are all 5k higher, meaning that cards that couldn't pressure Awaken leaders now do, and ones that could pressure Awaken leaders are now a little bit stronger, forcing more combo just a simple 5k, and even ones that now are 10k higher when they would have been just 5k higher, where 10k would come out, combo out. Now you've got to do 10k plus more, which is a super combo or a battle trick. And that's really, really good, and it's just kind of weird how there's two Goku leaders in the beginning. It kind of makes sense if you think about it, because Goku is the antagonist of protagonist, or whatever you want to call it, of Dragon Ball. So he's the main character, the one that most people associate with Dragon Ball, and what a lot of people love. So putting one in the Star Trek would make sense. It's just same that you put in the same color. And yeah, the starter deck one, it just does similar to what the red one does, but the red one just does it way better. Considering we're color locked, and we're gonna have to run red cards anyway, and majority of when you're gonna want to run are great are Universe 7, which then the Awaken does, because you want to Awaken as soon as possible to get the benefit of the Awaken side. And yeah, this is just in comparison. If it wasn't a Goku leader, it wasn't red, or wasn't Goku leader, or wasn't a different color, it might have been better, but sadly it's in the same color as a same character. That's better. So already we found the first trash one. Hopefully this is the only one, but can't really see too much of it. But then we go on to Vegeta. So Vegeta's a good one. He can boost himself by 50k as long as your hand's size 7 or less. It's got the whole thing of blue being if your hand's low size, you can get extra benefits or get your benefits. And blue has quite a lot of good cards. It's got also some pardon Pilaf, just a loop Pilaf over him, get that, just makes you use your energy. It's extra combo power. We're also having the loop of Final Hope Slash plus Pilaf as well to push through a huge swing every turn. Just like the more later you go, the more like, huge swings you can go. Because just chucking on like 1 energy extra 20k every turn or multiple times in a single turn on your swings is pretty good. Just the only problem is it struggles with green. Like blue, green seems to be the color to beat, and blue has the worst kind of like matchup into green because it can't really pressure enough early, and when it comes to the late game, it can't really handle doesn't have any real way to deal with the big things. Like yellow at least has like locking some of the big things down, red has able to neg them, green itself can like remove them, but blue is the one that struggles because its removal by effects is limited to 5 or less. And with them having some strong 6 drops or less, they can like nuke board and do things like that. Well, 6 drop or higher, they can do a lot of good things. Blue kind of struggles with it, so I would say for blue, we're gonna play it as tier 2 because just in case, like in future sets, we can get more, and it can do quite well. Just it's just got to be like adapt to try and be more aggressive as possible because it can be aggressive early, but it's got to try and do it as quick as possible. See the cards to kind of pressure green and kind of hope that green doesn't get his ramp on curve. So yeah, I feel Vegeta's gonna be tier 2, not tier 1. It's not gonna be like a consistent one that kind of like has a really great matchup. It could do quite well. Just I feel there's like. Yeah, like the fact is blue, it struggles with green, and green's going to be top color of the first set. Then we go the next one being Broly. So this one is a interesting one from the first time we did this. Broly was put in trash because on its own as a leader, it was absolutely terrible. Like it doesn't gain you advantage when it awakens. When you awaken, you lose the free draw that mostly every leader has. And then to gain a draw, you have to lose your energy. And green wants a ramp so you can play big things. But if you're losing your energy, you're not getting as high to drop your big thing, so it's terrible. But with set 1 stuff, it gets some really great stuff. Like it gain a lot more ramp than just hoping you see the extra card on turn 3 when you get free energy and turtles after that. It has a lot more access to like you've got cantrips, searches, like better searches from Gohan and Goku. It's got some more ramp in the Vegeta, the Goku, and the Goku that helps mitigate its terrible Awaken side. And it's also got some other like things like green got a lot of big threats, like big ways to finish and like pressure, which is really good. And also, I feel like it's got like an edge over the other 2 green leaders in the fact that it's base 25k, and with that Goku, it can mitigate his Awaken side's effects also. And the longer it stays there, the more you can actually get the use of effects of the lead to gain cards on your Awaken side, and you can defend a lot easier, which is really nice. You don't like all the other leads have an issue of 20k into 20k means your opponent's losing a card, so you can keep swinging 20k and 20k. Your opponent's got at least lose a card to either take the hit or lose it out. Whereas with Broly, you can't just for free swing at lead over 20k, or even like you don't get a free swing with lead to like force them to lose a card or take the damage, or with anything 20k. You've got a combo up. So rather than going swing into lead, they've got to lose a card, and you've lost nothing. You've now got a swing, you've got a combo thing just to kind of pressure, unless you played a bigger thing, which costs more energy. And they've got a combo thing, and if you either take the hit or you combo out, so rather than just your opponent losing a card, you've got to lose a card to make your Broly lose a card. And with the whole thing of like you got 6 drop Gohan allowing you to heal you for 6 energy, drop a big body and heal you. The whole fact that you don't you have to ramp a life isn't that bad anymore, and also ramping energy from Awakening means if you get aggroed down early, you then ramp an energy for free from your life, and then you're able to play more big things, like maybe even hit that 6 energy for the start of your turn, so you can go on heal and start like cracking back. Because at a point in green, there's a point where like when you get 5 energy, you just don't need to really start charging anymore, so you don't have to really start using cards from hand to charge, because the things you're playing are going to be ramping. You play Turtles down, it's going to ramp you, so you're basically keeping the card in hand, playing that Turtles to establish a body, and then ramping still, so you don't have to worry about charging because your battle card's doing it for you. So I feel Broly won't be the deck to beat, but I feel it'd be Teal 1. It'd be a good one because green is good against, like, it's going to be probably a weird matchup against green, and this helps deal with like mostly all the decks that green normally can struggle with a lot better, and also have like good pressure as well. So I think Broly's going to be tier 1. And then we have Frieza, so the last of our starter decks. Frieza's a really good one. It's the most, I'd probably say it's the best one in starter deck if you're just thinking it's starter decks or starter decks. And even with set 1 support, I think it's actually pretty good, because the fact, like, I've seen people like still go with the whole route of playing blockers. They can block, like, play blockers, swing with them, and block, and then be able to block next turn. But the problem with the amount of removal that DBS decks out, like red negging, yellow just resting, blue bouncing and removing, and then yellow, green just popping. Like, it's good to restand them so you can make use of blockers before you want to deal with them. But it's so easy to deal with them. Like, blockers aren't that great of a card, of like a type. But still, bringing out big threats, like we got the new SR Frieza stuff like that, bringing those down, swinging, and then mitigating the downside of not being able to restand by restanding at the end of your turn is amazing. And plus, yellow has access to a lot of draw, really nice, like really nice kind of like tech options. Like they got the Ginyu core to put on pressure early and easily. You've got like freezing things. Your opponent plays stuff, and you can just keep it tapped down so they can't actually make full use of it. And then you've got some you've got some nice tech cards as well. So I reckon Frieza's going to stay up in tier 1. Like, it's just as good from this from just being a star deck to the main set when it gets new additions. And it's so many tools, so many things, and be on the swing with stuff and restand it so you can then combo off or make it free from attacking, so it's safe and your opponent has to use effects to get rid of it, is great. So from the starter decks, we've got 2 tier 1s in Broly and Frieza, tier 2 in Vegeta, and then the red one is unfortunately trash. And that's where now we get into these set 1 ones. So let's see where these go for this one. So start off with red, we've got U7 Goku. Now this one is really nice, like it's way better than the starter deck one. This one you kind of want to get awakened as early as possible, because once you already awaken, then you get the big benefits, not just your lead to be able to draw and be 20k, but also the rest of your battle cards, making it stronger. So things that wouldn't be able to pressure before, or good pressure but just be 20 on 20, are now stronger, forcing it more combo, be able to pressure before. And you got lots of stuff awakened. So you got the Android 18 Searcher for 2 energy, and it's 15, it gets boosted to 20k when your lead is awakened. And then search 2 cards, being Android 17 and Krillin, which both have versions in the starter deck that can help you awaken by taking a life. So you got things that you can just drop, take a life, and then you got the only problem with red is you've got a lot of your best cards have 0 combo power. Like, you've got the starter Goku for your double strike, you've got the Beerus for your board wipe, you've got the Goku secret rare for some good pressure, and you've got the Ever SR Goku being also 0 life, but also allowing you to awaken plus pop stuffing. Like, most of your best cards 0 combo power, so you want to put them in to help do things, but they don't help you defend yourself, meaning you'll use Ever cards that you would normally potentially play, and it can be trouble. Like, red doesn't draw a lot either. Red doesn't have many draw cards. Like, the only times it's got some searches, which are very limited, and it's got 1 cantrip like every color has, and it's just got swing on leader. So it's just when you're leader in the cantrip, you're going to be drawing cards that are not from your life. So it's very limited, and you got some searches, but they cost a little bit more, and even then they're very limited as well. Like, you got nice combo in Roshi plus the extra card, but then Roshi has to take a life, so later on it goes, it's not as useful, but like early it's great, and you got some nice consistency with it. So I would say it's tier 1 because it can do a lot of pressure, and even against things like Broly, making your things that normally would only go 20k and 20k and effective against Broly, turning your 20ks into like a Krillin being 15k, get 10k boost on its own during your turn, and then the boost from that means pressing 20k for 2 energy into Broly as well. So I reckon this is good. This can probably be the best red strategy, because it can put more pressure on once it's awakened than it would before, and red can be very aggressive, just it lacks draw power, but it's going to be a great one to handle certain decks. Then we come up to Beerus. Now, Beerus is nice, but I find with all the crit leads, they kind of struggle with a low hand size, and they can crit against green, but then all green has to do is combat the crit swings, keep hitting your lead to get you down to 4, so when you can point awaken, and once you're like defend out to your crit swings, which you're not gaining advantage from, while they slowly kind of get their ramp, and then from later on, once you awaken, you start hitting them back, you start then taking a life where you're giving them the life. And like again, like it's very easy to just like crit isn't that like as crazy as it once was. Like when I first saw it, I thought that's not great. You're gonna lack on draw power. Then went back thinking actually it's quite mad because you're then critting. You're not gaining. You're basically critting your opponents. You're not gaining resources, but you're denying your opponent resources. While they're still attacking. Well, if you don't play anything yet, they can attack. They're then attacking you, giving you cards, or not drawing themselves. And then the crit mirror is just very weird because neither you are drawing, you're just denying each other resources. But if someone can awaken quicker, they can start gaining it themselves. And Beerus has a really nice front awaken side where you can just minus 10k and help deal with things a lot easier. But then it's not gaining advantage, and it's still in a color where red is lacking draw. Like you don't draw that much. And if you get held off awakening when you see your awakeners, you're gonna kind of struggle. And even though you're applying crit pressure, if you're against like a blue, they just go Pilaf over Pilaf over Pilaf, just comboing out of it very easily to not take the crit, or just gaining advantage slowly, and not losing anything from hand. And then like green, if you hit things in androids that they can ramp with, they can then if they got targets to ramp. And then if you hit things in Saiyans where they can then ramp like targets for their ramp, you're not hitting that bad, and then most of the Saiyan cards they can still draw. Like all the green leaders, they still draw on both sides. Well, they still draw on the unawakened side, so you're not going to be that bad. And as long as they hit the ramp is okay. And yeah, I didn't feel like being a crit lead is kind of bad because you're like all crit leads straight away. They kind of lack in the fact that they don't draw, and they've got awaken as soon as possible. And red, I'd say Beerus is rogue. It could be better in future when we get more things self-awaken that's better, like more of an archetype for it. But I feel like the crit is holding it back. If it's just normal draw, that'd be cool. But with being a crit leader, it kind of lacks on the draw, and red is already lacking very hard. So I'd say he would be in rogue because he can get better in future, but it's not that great. Yeah, if you get awakening, then using loads of different effects to try and minus down things, especially in green. You have to use a lot of tricks to kind of like minus things down in green to get rid of them, to board control, and green's the colour to beat. So then we go into blues. Start off with Goku Black as the first one, being the once again being the crit lead, and I think like Goku Black doesn't seem like great. Like he's the worst of the blue leads. I'll give him that. He's the worst of the blue leads. He's a crit lead, so he's already lacking in advantage. Like he doesn't gain as much as others, but luckily he's not in red, so he's actually got draw power, like some decent draw power being in blue. And he's also got recursion and Pilaf. You got good things like that. The only problem is to make use of his front side, which is reducing Goku Black's by 2 the next one you play. It's so convoluted and so difficult. Like you've got to have a Zamasu out to reduce the bottom deck it reduce the cost. So you got to play out the Zamasu, which all the Zamasu, or only one Zamasu is okay. The rest, they're terrible. They're all one cost, so that's not too bad. But so you got to have to get the most use out of it. You got to have one out on board the turn before, which could be if it's got no protection, so it's got to be removed. And if it does survive the turn, then you can use it. But you got to bottom deck it, so you got to lose a card to reduce the cost. Then you got to see your Goku Blacks, and there's only 3 Zamasu and 3 Goku Blacks. The Zamasu, both of them they've got a skillless. So there's a skillless Zamasu and Goku Black, meaning that's 2 like bad targets. It's not too bad with Zamasu because it means it survives a little bit easier, but it's Goku Black, that's terrible. They should have put that in different. They should have put the skillless in different ones. And the other 2 targets, for Zamasu, one can help bottom deck 1-drops, and there are some pesky 1-drops, which is good. And the other was a blocker that is terrible because it only gains blocker if you've got Goku Black in your battle area, when it should have been with including leader. So that's really bad because you're not going to be putting that out with a Goku Black. You could be bottom decking it all the time. So that's a terrible Zamasu. It doesn't really gain you anything. It should have been probably a cantrip that draws you if your leader is Goku Black. And then the other 2 Goku Blacks that we've got, one is just a free got when you 7 or less draw 1, not just a draw 1, 7 or less draw 1, so you got to keep your hand low just to get that draw. And then the other Goku Black is really good, the SR1, allowing you to grab like any 4 or less card from your drop, and then free play out whenever it swings, as long as you're 7 or less in hand. So the SR is really good, but then the ways to get it out and cheaper, like make it cheaper, is terrible. And blue doesn't have the greatest kind of search. Like it has some like Owasu to search, but if you whiff off that, it feels so bad. It just feels, yeah, just its archetype is just not as great. So I'm not going to put it in trash because that's potential. Because if we get more Zamasus and more Goku Blacks future sets for blue, it could be a lot better. And we can have like they might do leg support. We don't know what to do. But if we get more support, like in a good color, advantage. You got to awaken as soon as possible. Lucky my helps with that. but its arch type isn't great when you can play it. The blue leader do much better. So I can put this as rogue because it is potential to be better. But currently in a set 1, it's interesting. It can do fun stuff if you find the cards, but it's not that great. But I don't think it's trash because it can actually do things on like that unique. Whereas this U7 Goku, this starter Goku, is the same thing as U7 Goku, just U7 Goku does it better. Then we bring us to the last one of the blue ones, being Trunks. Now, this one's quite nice because it has a weighted control board, so it helps deal with like red and blue. Like it can easily defeat red. It can do well against yellow, and it kind of does struggle against green. But it's got some nice like unique text to its own deck, to its own leader, to actually help with the green matchup. In like Haramaki, you only give a leader 10k, and then also then combo off for 10k, and then like loop that with Pilaf and things like Final Hope Slash to put some big pressure in on green, and it can go a little bit more wide with spamming things out. You can also tech the Goku like SR, and it has a nice bit of recursion as well, so it can do well against all the other decks and kind of do well against green. So I'm gonna put that in tier 1 for Trunks. Like Trunks is gonna be probably it is the best blue deck because of its effect and just all the things you can do. And its like unique thing is Haramaku is really nice as well to put some good pressure in single hits. But it just struggles against green, so it's not the deck to beat because it's not green. But it's still a very good, it's a very strong deck. Then we come to our green ones. Now we've got the androids first. So the androids, I think the androids are the worst of the green deck. They're not the worst deck, but the worst of the green decks because of the fact that this ramp isn't as great as the Saiyan stuff. With the Saiyan stuff, like with their ramp, you got free cost extra card that ramps you energy from the top of your deck, puts into play straight away to use in active mode. And it's got like a few searches for it to find, which isn't too bad. And then the rest of its ramp, Saiyan ramp, you got things like Turtles and Goku that ramp Turtles from the drop for like which would be a target, which the extra card is a target, and Goku from the top of your deck, and then replaces your energy, which both of those Saiyan leads can have ways to sack it off to make use of that to kind of get additional effects and then not have the downside of losing energy. But with the androids, they only have one way to ramp, and that is the field card, and you got to find the field card. Now you can try and find it, like it's not searchable because it's an android card, but there's no android searches, it's just android character searches, like the Android 20 that searches for 17 and 18. And there is a way to try and look for a top 10, but it costs 3 energy. You have to play out a battle card, KO it, which it doesn't even have a good weight, like it doesn't even have enough power to swing and actually put some pressure on first. So you've got to play a free drop android that's not searchable. You've got to KO it, so then it drop as a target, but then you just paid free to lose a card to find a card, and it only looks at top 10. And while that's a big chunk looking in your deck, if you whiff off that, you've just wasted an entire turn trying to find a card and potentially put a load of cards that you probably wanted to draw to the bottom of your deck. Like, good, it'd be, like, it's not too bad because it puts the top 10 to the bottom of the deck, which means you've got more of a chance to try and find the field card again, but your turn behind you just wasted an entire turn, which isn't great in green. But then once it gets its ramp off, it's got consistent ramp, but also, like the Saiyans, you're not gaining straight up use of the ramp, or like with the free drop ramp in the Saiyans, you play the free drop extra card, and then you get that use of the energy straight away, and then the energy straight there. With the ramp card, if you pay it on curve, pay it on when you got free energy, you play it out, but you can't ramp straight away because you need to pay an energy for the ramp. So as soon as you play the card, you can't ramp there and then, but you've got the card set up to consistently ramp every turn. And when you do ramp, you don't increase the amount of energy you got for the turn, you just increase your total amount of energy. So when you go to turn 4, well, you got 4 energy, you got a 4th energy. You then pay 1 energy and rest the card to ramp android from your drop to your energy. So you increase the total amount of your energy by paying 1. Because you've paid 1 to gain that energy, you've kept the same amount of energy as you did at the start of the turn. So you had 4 energy, you've paid 1, gained an energy, you've still got 4. So it's nice and consistent with that. You can keep consistently gaining energy every turn. So you can either choose not to ramp or not to charge, or then charge and then ramp. It's up to you depending on what your hand is, but it's more consistent, but it's harder to get access to, unlike the Saiyan stuff. So I'm going to put androids in tier 2 because I feel they're good, they can still perform, just they're not as great as the other ones. which is a shame, but still a very good deck. And then we got the last of the green being Gohan, the one that is probably get more people hyped because of the character. Like, people love Gohan deck, and it's the probably Gohan when he's the best, when he wasn't like when he's like, yeah, just as the strongest. Like, look at his coolest being like when he went Super Saiyan 2 for the first time. And this, you probably know where it's going to be. This is the deck to beat because it's the better of the green Saiyan leads, because unlike Broly, it draws on both sides without needing to without having the downside that needs to be fixed by another card. It draws on both sides just by swinging with lead. As a nice effect, it just basically once per turn, either player's turn, just to sack off an energy to gain 15k power for that battle. And once again, just like with Broly, if you've got the Goku 5-drop on board, you can mitigate that by not worrying about it. And it's got access to the good Saiyan ramp. So it's got access to the good ramp, draws on both sides without worry. Got an effect that can be mitigated as well. It's very strong, even if it's not mitigated, you have enough energy, just not worry about that, because you've got those so many cards at ramp. And it's going to be deck big, because he's got loads of draw as well. While just drawing and just gaining cards, and so you don't matter if your opponent rushes you down, you just still gaining cards every turn. And green has some very good finishes, like you got the androids to help just push double strike while moving 2 3 drops or less to help manage board. The secret rare can then board wipe everything in the all the other colors except from green, and then the 8-drop Broly to help just pop anything and put 2 big swings in as well. So yeah, Gohan is the deck to beat, and these ones in tier 1 all can do well against it, can actually beat it. Some a little bit easier than others, and yes, it's mainly one you're going to be looking for to focus on beating. Now the next two we've got, we've got Ginyu and Cooler. So we'll start with Ginyu. This is my favourite. I'm going to try not to be biased, but I'm going to put Ginyu in tier 2. I want to put in tier 1 because it can do quite well against green, because it's got the whole Ginyu engine of going wide, swing at 20k's doing early as well. Because you've got the nice little engine of Raccoon and this SR Ginyu, which as long as you've got another Ginyu, like a Frieza army on the board, which you can easily get with 1-drops and 2-drops. You can play out Raccoon, play out Ginyu, and with Raccoon in itself, plus another Frieza army on board, it untaps 2, so you essentially played up 2 20k attackers, 1 energy, and then make use of the other energy, either playing the extras that draw or put pressure on, or some more ones like 2 Jaces or another 20k. You can't play Ginyus for the turn, but that's fine, you just spam the board of 20ks, and then you can go wide into your opponent, and then usually as effect to restand and then go wide again. It's putting a lot of swings, basically chipping out their entire hand, making them waste super combos, just 20k swings when they've that's all they've got left. And I do want to put in tier 1 to do it, but then the end problem is there's a lot more things than when we first looked at it about when we first looked into some stuff. There's a lot more removal than before. It does really fairly well against blue. Blue can kind of handle the board like Sinister Sickle and Trunks and stuff, but you can salvage it back very quickly, and kind of gets locked out by red because yellow's got limited removal, so you've got to find your Golden Death Beam and a way to rest the Frost just to pop it. But red can kind of handle it, but then red isn't the greatest, and then that Frost is kind of a dead card against most other colors because they don't really care about it, or even other decks. But it's just good against Ginyu, and people will pick up the U7 Goku and put the Frost in because it's Goku. And red is a very simple color, the easiest one to pick up for new players or players that just want to basically do as well with an easy, simpler deck. And yeah, the Ginyu package go with any yellow leaders, so some yellow leaders might be able to do it better, just a small package of Raccoon, Ginyu, and some other Ginyu good card choices. But yeah, I feel tier 2 because it can do well. It can win out games by just going wide if you're not prepared for it, and it can do well against all decks. But then yeah, it just kind of it's got a bad matchup in red, just because red can not because red can negative cards you don't have to worry about. You can reestablish it very easily, but it's more like Frost can shut it down. And if you don't see your very limited removal for the Frost, it can struggle. But then you can do well against the other decks. So I feel tier 2 is a fair shout. I wouldn't want to put it tier 1, but Frost is a thing, and yellow does lack removal. In future sets, we might get some more removal for yellow that can help deal with Frost. But up until then, with the first set, it's tier 2, I feel. Then we've got Cooler. So Cooler once again is being limited on the fact that it's a crit leader, so it's not gaining much on the front side. But yellow kind of can mitigate the fact that it doesn't draw much by the fact that yellow draws quite a bit. It's got quite a few good draw cards and stuff like that. You got the Ginyu with Banana that can rest it, restand. You got Apple World, the same thing, and there's a lot of Frieza army in the set. And while its archetype is terrible, you can still run just the Ginyu stuff and the good yellow stuff. You can run your good yellow stuff and Ginyu stuff just to get some aggro and support. And how Awakening, because Ginyu, Raccoon being an amazing card, allows you to spam out 2 cost or less like the SR Ginyu to help them restand and basically pay 2 20k attackers for 1. But also Raccoon takes a life. You got other things that take a life. You got some like blockers you can use to defend yourself to take life as well. And you got the Frieza from the start deck that attacks, takes a life and rest stuffing to help get you awakened as soon as possible. Because when you're awakened, that's when you start drawing cards, and you've got amazing effect where you can ditch a card to either restand an energy or a 4 cost or less Frieza Frieza clan card for, to basically just swing, either get free energy back, like discard a dead card to get an energy back, or restand one of your good, like big Frieza clan cards, which is some good ones. So you got the Frieza, getting 2 20k swings out of that, and having Banana at the end of the turn, switch it back to active mode. There's some really good things and text you can put in yellow. And because of that, I'm going to put Cooler also in tier 2, because it's better than the ever crit leads, because it's got some, like, the draw power is mitigated by the fact yellow has some good, remember yellow draws the best in the game, and you also got some very good effects to make use of it, and I'm resounding energy to play more stuff, or even doing that defensively as well. Ditch dead card didn't have make a battle trick live. It's very nice, and you've got some good pressure you can make off it, and some good targets from the effect. So, that is the end of the video, so hopefully I went through that a little bit quicker than I do some of my videos. Sorry about that. I try to put as much information as possible into it. Sometimes I go a bit too, overload too much information, and so I can go around long. Apologize for that. But for the re-ranking, so we can see it's changed a little bit. I can't remember exactly what, I probably should get that up as well, what the my previous ranking is, but from the last one we can see that now we changed the rankings a bit from deck to beat, tier 1, tier 2, rogue and trash. And we can see that deck to beat, I feel, is going to be Gohan. Gohan is going to be the deck to beat. Like every format's going to have a deck to beat, or maybe a few decks to beat. But in this case, just the one, being Gohan, being the best of the green decks, with green being the best color. Then in tier 1, we've got Broly, Frieza, U7 Goku, and Trunks being like one of each color. So there's a deck in each color people can play that will be good to, like, basically be good choices to combat the deck to beat, and also help with, like, do well against the other decks as well. Then in tier 2, ones that can do well, but not as great as the tier 1 decks, being Vegeta, Androids, Ginyu, and Cooler. Then we got on Rogue being Beerus and Goku Black, because they're not as great. They lack, because being crit leaders they kind of lack, but they can get more support in future sets and maybe like pop in well every so often. And we got the Trash being the star deck Goku, because it just basically does a worse version of the Unit 7 Goku, which does exactly what it does but better. And a lot nicer. So, and it comes in a better art as well. So, like, all the ones that aren't star decks can come in a better art, but subject to any individual person's opinion. But yeah, that is for the tier list. That's what we're going to have the re-ranking. So hopefully you can take that, and you might disagree. If you do disagree or on what some places are, let me know in the comments below. It'd be nice to basically understand, like, if you got a different view, maybe something I didn't think of. That'd be nice to hear. Remember to like the comment, like the video, not the comments. Well, you can like the comments if you want. But like the video if you enjoy the content, and remember to subscribe if you want to keep updated with my videos as they want to come, and help me get to my goal of 1,000 subs. That's it for me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.